line for 2 hours to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you are so tormented of something that happened 20 years ago. Why aren't you glad you got rid of the bum? Why are you in disguise? Why do you feel like you did something wrong? He's the one that did it, and your mother did it.
Any comments, Susan?
Yes, the traumatic part was because I found out actually in proof. It took me 14 years before I found this annulment paper. It took me almost 20 years before I found the marriage certificate. Sometimes you just need to really see things. Because their relationship, when I saw them together, was completely neutral. You wouldn't know they were married. After the marriage, they kind of were together, but not together, if you can understand.
Well,
Pardon
she
me?
doesn't want to have to go to... She's in disguise because it makes it life more convenient for her when she returns to her
Let me also try to
normal...
explain what's traumatic. When anything bad happened to us, it's traumatic. When we've been living in a fantasy, thinking that things are one way, and then we find out 15 or 20 years later, there's not just the hurt and the loss, there's the deception to deal with, and it's a trust issue, let alone the fact that her mom was a real only parent, and she completely deceived her, so she was deceived by the two people she loved the most in her life.
Lots of questions here.
This
Yes.
is for Susan. How long did the relationship last between your mother and your ex-husband?
It continues today, doesn't
They're
it?
still together.
Yes.
I'm curious. I want to know, did Susan's mother give her a big wedding?
Yes.
Really?
Really?
You were registered and all that stuff, huh?
Did you pick him, or was it like an arranged marriage? Did Mama pick him for you?
Oh, no.
Yes.
I'd like to know, in the beginning of the show, you said he annulled the marriage 9 months later.
Yes.
And he told you. How could you conceive a child with him 3 years later?
No,
that
he did
doesn't make
not
sense.
tell me. No.
I
he
thought
was-
he had told you.
No.
Well, glad to clear it up. Yes.
No.
I was curious as to how well you knew your husband before you married him. How long did you see him?
We dated about 2 years, and I knew him a year before that. 3 years.
Yes.
What are your son's feelings towards his grandmother?
My son, to this day, is traumatized. Of course, the feelings are of very bad will for his grandmother. He didn't find out until his teenage years when he was 14.
Do you feel like inferior towards your mom, or like have a
Inferior?
complex or something? Yeah.
I feel fantastic. For me to survive this and have 4 children, I made it.
Justin, when you were living with your girlfriend's mother...
No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's what it is.
You obviously didn't get your program. Justin was living with his father's girlfriend.
Father's girlfriend, I should say. Who brought home the bacon? Who paid the bills?
Who did
Were
what?
you working at the time?
Yes, I was.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question for the gentleman on this side. I want to know if you broke up with your ex-girlfriend because of what her mother was doing to you.
No, I think there were a number of things.
If you joined us late, Cliff once dated a girl whose mother came on to him. And he's here to say that, yeah, it happened to me and nothing transpired, but he's honest to say it didn't, it made him uncomfortable, and the relationship that he had with the girlfriend no longer exists. Cliff, sir.
Yeah, what happened basically was a number of flirtatious things went on, inasmuch even when we would sit down sometimes to talk or whatever, mom would sit close on one side while the girlfriend was on the other side. That's enough to make you feel real nervous and not want to be around people, but you just have to resist, you know, you just have to kind of play it off.
For some of us who can't relate to that extreme example, did anyone here have a parent who, when your friends came over, your parent was the center of attention, your parent needed to entertain everybody and get a lot of approval? That's the beginning stages of what we're talking about in young childhood. This is what goes on later on.
I have a question for Susan. You know, as a parent, I want to know how you handle the relationship between your son and your husband when your son was growing up as an infant, you know, because it's a very difficult thing in raising a child.
Is your son's father in his life?
Not at all.
Was he ever?
Not after the divorce, no.
So no visitation, no nothing?
No.
Yeah.
How about sisters or brothers stealing each other's boyfriends or girlfriends? Barbara, can you answer that for us?
Yeah, it happens. It's a similar kind of thing. It's obviously rivalry, competition, and that kind of competition you can see in very early stages in a family. And when you get sex involved, it gets very messy, and the stakes are higher, and the prize is higher when you can get it.
I have a
question for Cliff. When the mother came on to you, did you think for 1 minute that they were working together and setting you up and trying to find out, would you be a good, honest, faithful guy for her daughter?
A test like, a test.
That, you know, no, I think there were other rivalries going on between the mother and daughter, and as Barbara was saying, I think that maybe the mother was trying to live through the daughter, who's a very attractive woman and a model, who many of you probably have seen on television or in movies or in whatever. Right. So I think what basically, so I think there was a lot going on there.
I do too, and we'll be back in a moment.
Gifts at Canadian Tire are Scrooge Approved. They're great gifts, and since I approved them, you know the prices are low.
Right now, get these Sherwood hockey sticks, Junior 19K and Senior PMP 6030, Scrooge Approved at $7.99 and $12.99. And this Power Wheels Jeep at the Scrooge Approved price of only $279.99.
These Scrooge Approved gifts sure put you in the Christmas spirit.
Give the change. No, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
Cristal, the great-tasting non-stick gum has changed. The pack is new. The shape is different, but the biggest change is inside. It has no sugar. Cristal Gum is sugar-free. Now, a gum that doesn't stick to dental work and is sweetened with NutraSweet. The first ever sugarless non-stick gum. That is a change. A big change. A change for the better.
A new superhighway of the future is being built today in British Columbia, and it's less than an inch wide. It's the Light Guide transmission system from BC Tel, so advanced that 2 optic fibers can carry thousands of voice, data, and video calls faster and more securely than ever before. The Light Guide transmission system. One more reason why BC Tel will always be the guiding light of telecommunications in British Columbia.
Who's that, Scott? The Brinkley's from up the street. Look, your mom's giving them the cheese. Mom does that when people drop in. Those Brinkley's look hungry as crocodiles. Crocodiles? I think we should say hello to those crocodiles. Yeah.
Cheese. For Scott and Joey and you, it's always the answer. It's practically indispensable. So always have enough.
Cheese, please.
The average camcorder is built for the average right-handed person. But if you were a southpaw, the left hand never knew what the right hand was doing because the eyepiece was totally out of position. That's why Panasonic introduced their switch hitter. Now, either way, you're ready to play. It's a genius. It's a Panasonic microwave. It thaws, it cooks, it roasts, it makes and bakes bread. It kneads, it punches, it shapes. It's the new Panasonic Super Genius Micro-Convection Bread Bakery. Phew, what a mouthful.
Susan, what was the age difference between your mom and your husband at that time?
How old was your husband when you married?
He was in his late 30s.
Okay, so that somewhere in his mid-30s, a relationship developed with your mother.
Yes.
And how old was your mother at the time your husband was in his mid-30s?
I would rather not answer that.
Well, she had to be at least 16 years older. Can we say that?
Exactly, right.
Okay, yeah. Although anymore, if you know what I mean.
I just had a quick question to Susan about, weren't there any legal documents in all that time that you, like income tax or anything like that, that you had to fill out that might have given a clue to what was going on?
You have to remember we're in the 80s now. This was in the beginning of the 60s. Women weren't so independent. Men were handling everything. And you weren't suspicious at all. My husband handled everything.
This book titled Make Love Last a Lifetime is Barbara DeAngelis' contribution to your attempt to keep your life in order and especially, especially its most important feature. With whom shall you spend the rest of your life? Hi. You're single?
Yes, I'm
Good.
only 17.
You're 17?
Yes.
Do your parents let you out of the house, or are you locked in the basement, or what?
No.
Yes.
I wanted to ask Cliff a question. What did your girlfriend say about the flirting that went on between you and her mother?
Well, there wasn't any flirting going on my behalf. Let's clear that up, okay?
I mean, with what she flirted with you.
She was, I guess, very disturbed about it. We talked about it not a lot because as I say, I never really took it serious, so my answers were, your mom can't be serious, she's just playing.
Yeah, one line.
Susan, do you think that your success in the 20s was a cause that your ex-husband went for your mother?
In other words, she's too busy and didn't have enough time for him?
Yeah.
Not at all, because she was more successful.
Where would a young man get a question like that so early in his life? Yeah.
I have a question for Barbara. Barbara, you said that the parents of these people were insecure and young. What happens to their children's children?
The children's children don't see good role models of grandparents or parents, and we're unfortunately passing down bad relationships, and that's a tragedy.
I'll try and get you on, but we'll do that after we make this break. We'll be back in a moment.
On Saturday, I met Ramon. On Monday, he sent me a rose. Tuesday, sweet gardenias. And I put each one in this beautiful silver-plated Rialto Bud Vase from Shoppers Drug Mart. Your free gift with a minimum $30 purchase of cosmetics or fragrances. Perfect for gift giving. Thursday, he sent me an orchid. And on Friday, Ramon sent me a bill.
Enjoy extra sugar-free gum.
You get extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra long time for you.
So chew extra with NutraSweet. The great-tasting flavor lasts a long time, and extra won't promote tooth decay.
Extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra long time for you.
For long-lasting flavor that won't promote tooth decay, chew extra sugar-free gum.
This year, you can bring someone special home for Christmas. McDonald's presents Muppet Babies. Baby Kermit, Baby Fozzie Bear, and Baby Miss Piggy. A different one every week while supplies last. $2.69 each, and with every purchase, you're donating 50 cents to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities. Muppet Baby plush toys for a limited time at participating McDonald's.
Good time, great taste of McDonald's.
There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. Our roots are here in small-town Canada. It's where we grew up, helping people and communities all across the country to grow and prosper. In one important way, we've never changed. We still think of every city neighborhood as a small town, a few blocks square, full of people worth believing in. That's what Scotia Banking is all about.
Transcript of today's show, send $3 to Donahue Transcript, 267 Broadway, New York, 1007, or call 212-227-READ.
Make Love Last a Lifetime is not the title of this book. I misspoke myself. You people have been treated to a rare experience. I made a mistake. How to Make Love All the Time. That's Barbara Daniels' title, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to know if Justin was ever concerned that his father's girlfriend was comparing his sexual performance.
Yeah.
Actually, she did that.
She did out loud talk about it.
Yeah, she would tell me things that I had that he didn't.
So wonder you're still walking around.
Who should pay for the date? Now, women say the men should pay. Men say you want equal rights, you should pay. Unequal dating rights on the next Oprah Show.
Weekdays at noon on CKVU.